Molly's from St. Louis. We got to know each other the last couple months. We've been in a mastermind together. She's in the Monday group that some of you are in. And whenever she talks and shares insight, everyone in the group is like, what? I need more of that. So I invited her to come up and share and do a session with us that people pay her lots of money for. And what we're going to do is we're going to get her on camera, and we're going to tell more people about her because she's on video. And this will be good for her. So without any further ado, would you guys welcome Molly?
So I'm excited to be with you today, excited to take you through some processes that I use with groups. As Mike alluded to, I work with a lot of college athletic teams. My background was in college athletics. I'm slowly diversifying who I work with. But no push-ups, no sit-ups. We're not going to the parking lot to run laps today, but I will take you through some processes that I utilize. So I hope you'll dive in. I think this is not just good for me to have an opportunity to take you through this work, but good for the group, for you to develop some deeper connections, and good for you individually. I didn't set Mike up earlier, but he was talking about the value of questions. And that's really the work that I do. I give people questions and then tools and processes to help them unpack those questions that are often lingering in our life. So I'm going to take you through 3 prompts today. I'll give you some creative tools and processes. At the end, I'll hold a little bit of time to kind of shift into a train the trainer mode. So if this work is appealing to you and you want some insights about how I would do it, why I would do it, what was the thought process behind it, I'll be glad to share that with you all today. So let's get rolling. Are you with me on this? Okay, here we go. So let me start with this. Let me start with a story. When I was in 2nd grade, I attended a school called Thomas Jefferson Elementary School in Alton, Illinois, which is just across the river from St. Louis. And at my elementary school, it was kindergarten, 1st, and 2nd grade students. And every day at the end of school, I would walk to the front of the building, get on my big yellow school bus. My sister would be with me. She was a 1st grader. Our next door neighbor, Mark, he would be with us. He was a 1st grader as well. And then Sarah, a kindergarten student, our other neighbor, would be with us. Pretty routine. We'd walk out front. We'd get on the bus. We'd make a few stops, drive a few miles, and then we would get to the intersection of Warden Avenue and Edwards Street, where our bus driver would let us off. We'd walk past 4 or 5 houses and get to our homes. But on this particular day, we had a substitute bus driver. I was too young at that point in my life to know that that might change how my afternoon would unfold. But I got on the bus. My sister, my neighbors got on the bus. We began like we did any other day. We drove a few miles. We made a few stops. We got to the intersection of Warden and Edwards, and we kept driving. And it was at that moment that I realized, oh shoot, we are not headed where we're supposed to be headed. And I also knew that I had this young crew with me that was looking to me, the wise 2nd grader, to make a decision in this moment because we weren't headed where we were supposed to be headed. So we made a few more stops. My brain is spinning, trying to figure out what do we do in this moment. And we came and made a stop at the back of Horace Mann Elementary, which is where the 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders attended school. And I knew in that moment, I made a decision, we are getting off this bus. I knew that Horace Mann Elementary was on Edwards Street. It was on the street that I lived on. I had no idea how far it was. I had no idea what direction to go, but I knew that we needed to get off the bus. My plan, again, my infinite 7-year-old wisdom, was the office must be in the front of the building because it was in the front of my school building. So I thought, we'll walk around to the front, we'll go in the office, I will ask for the band director because he goes to my church, and then he'll be able to call my parents, and we'll find our way home. That was my plan. You can imagine the surprise of the office employees when myself and my little ragtag group walked in explaining that the bus driver didn't stop at our stop, and I unveiled my master plan of how I was going to get home again. I share that story with you because, for me, that is my first leadership memory in my life. I had a group of people looking at me, asking for some wisdom, and I knew that we weren't headed where we were supposed to be headed, and I had to make a change. And sometimes that's what leadership requires of us. to recognize when we're not headed where we're supposed to be headed, and to make a change. And so in that moment, I got off the bus, I took my people with me, and I decided we're going to find our way home again. And my work with leaders, I often discover that that's the struggle. I'm not headed where I'm supposed to be headed. I don't know how to get there. And so sometimes it requires us to stop the motion that we're in, get off that bus, and find a new way home again. So I want to take you through a little process today to help you assess where you are right now. Because the reality is, for all of you as high performers, and I think there are 8 or 9 of you that I've gotten to know in my mastermind, and a few others of you that I've connected with in the last few months, my sense with high performers is we become so goal-oriented that sometimes we forget to acknowledge where we are right now. And where we are right now dictates how we're going to get to where we want to go. All right? So on your tables, you should see a bunch of maps. If you can kind of spread those around your tables, please. You may need to share a few, but as long as you can see one. And I'm going to give you 3 prompts. So I'd like you to write these down, and then I'll tell you how we're going to use this tool. Your 3 prompts are, number 1, where are you right now? Where are you right now? Your second prompt is, if you could just go visit someplace for a day, where would you like to go visit? You could just go visit someplace for a day. Where would you like to go visit? And number 3, who would you like to take with you? Who would you like to take with you? So we're going to use this map for this prompt. So you're going to look at this map. You're going to think about where you are right now. Where would you like to go visit for a day? And who would you like to take with you? So I'm going to give you a few moments to digest everything that's on that map, a few moments to make some notes, and then we're going to get into small groups and have an opportunity to share some of those insights. You may, as you go through this process, realize, ooh, I've got something that should have been on that map that's not on that map. Go for it. If there's something that shows up for you that resonates with you that's not on the map, go with that. So take a couple minutes. Again, where are you right now? Where would you like to go visit for a day, and who would you like to take with you? Take a few moments to make some notes, and then I'll tell you how we're going to split up into groups, and we'll go from there. There are some good conversations happening, so thanks for going through that process. I want to remind you with that prompt, and one of the reasons that that's important to me is sometimes we find ourselves pulled into places that we're just supposed to visit, but we're not supposed to stay. Sometimes we find ourselves pulled into places we're supposed to visit but not stay. And so when you think about where you are on that map, I know for me, during COVID, I stayed in some unhealthy places for longer than I was supposed to stay. And so one of the processes I had to go through, kind of thinking about this map as a mental picture for me is, well, I know I'm not supposed to be here, but I don't know the path to get to where I'm supposed to go, and I don't know how I'm supposed to stay there, but can I just go visit it for an afternoon? Can I just give myself permission to be in a better place for half the day or for an hour or for 5 minutes before I put the pressure on myself of, I have to leave this place and be in better space? So I encourage you as leaders, and if right now you're thinking, I'm not really a leader, like it's just me, let me remind yourself that you are the leader of your life. No one else is going to do that for you. So even if you're just a party of one, you are solely responsible for leading your own life. And so we've got to be willing to say, like, I wasn't supposed to stay here. This was a place I was supposed to visit. I need to move into better space. I need to get to a different place. So a little bit like my 7-year-old self, I knew I was headed in the wrong direction. Wasn't exactly sure how I was going to get home, but I knew I had to find a way to get there. So I hope that process was useful for you as you think about where you are, where you'd like to be, and who you'd like to take with you. And much like Mike has said a few times already this morning, there's a great group of people in this room that you may want to take with you on this journey as you're shifting a little bit.
Hey, it's Mike Kim here. Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel where we talk all about building a personal brand business. That means you as a coach, a speaker, a content creator, how to market your content, how to create great content that people love. Make sure you hit that little notification bell, subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a video. So glad you're here.